And you probably heard the word autonomous, right? So, any idea what is the difference between unmanned and autonomous? Autonomous system, autonomous vehicle, and unmanned vehicle?
Autonomous vehicles can like make decisions for themselves, right? Based on the
Perfect.
situation they're in.
Exactly. So you can have an unmanned vehicle, but it's not autonomous. Okay? And you can actually have an autonomous system that would have some human being within. So they are, you can have all combinations. You can have an autonomous unmanned, you can have an autonomous manned, you can have, what else? You do all combinations. You would end up with something very interesting. And that's part of what we play with, if you will. By the way, we call these things toys. And I'm going to show you some stuff in a little bit of what your peers in computer science have been developing. And I'm talking mainly undergrad students. Definitely there are grad, postdocs, and the likes, but mainly undergrad. But yeah, thank you for bringing this up. Okay. What else?
From our unit so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, gang, what
Very
else?
interesting.
We've had some themes, especially with our discussion of iRobot, right? What are some of those themes that iRobot is bringing up for us? Okay, fear of robots taking over the world. What else?
Loss of humanity.
Loss of humanity, right? That was really our discussion last class, and also the discussion of today's reading, right? Talk to us about why robots make us think about the loss or the end of humanity. Yeah, Sean.
Okay, like for starters, we can see now, like currently, how robots are replacing us in the world. Like, so jobs are being lost by robots. So that's one really large thing people are thinking about. Okay, will I have a job tomorrow? Or will a robot take that over also?
This is an excellent point as well. So I don't recall if it was this weekend or actually Monday, but I was listening to NPR, and it's extremely interesting. They were talking about exactly what you mentioned, and talking about how these robots, and a robot here does not have to be something like the way that we visualize it, like, something that, walking like this. No, drones are robots, like one of you mentioned. Yes, exactly, right? So the idea here is they were talking about, I think in 20 years or so, they are talking about the loss of a huge number. It was just a scary number. I don't recall, but it's something like 4 to 5 million jobs to some form of a robot. It can be just even software. They are talking about a currently existing restaurant in China and I think in New York that's completely fully automated. Fully automated. Even the cook. Everything. And they are talking about, okay, so what will happen to us? They are talking also about, think of Uber. You're familiar with Uber, right?
Yes.
Okay. So recently they started using, have you heard the news?
Yeah, it's like a self-driving.
Self-driving cars. Okay, you get free rides, and it's yeah, hopefully it's going to be a full ride, okay? But it's a self-driving car. It would have an engineer sitting on the passenger seat, and sometimes actually on the driving seat, but they're just monitoring and watching the system work. Okay? And in that report, the same NPR report, they were talking about, okay, what this is going to do to truck drivers. Think about it. Yes, sir.
Do you believe that cutting out the middleman will increase efficiency?
Okay, so there is no yes or no to this question. It depends on what application you're talking about. And remember, a computer will never, ever, so forget about the movies that you're watching, will never, ever be smarter than a human being. Never. Okay? It can be much, much, much faster, but never smarter. Okay, so keep that in mind. So cutting completely the human out of the loop is not going to be the solution or a silver bullet. It will never happen. But again, what we're talking about is in certain applications, the human being role will probably be less. And by less, I mean losing jobs and having, maybe sort of monitoring, development and design, rather than implementing and executing and operating things. That might be replaced by robots. Because robots or software in general, okay, they are excellent in following orders. That's what they do. You just follow instructions. Yes, sir.
You said that robot will never ever be smaller than human beings. What about artificial intelligence?
I didn't get the very last part. I'm sorry.
What about artificial intelligence?
Yes, exactly. So artificial intelligence actually is one of the computer science areas that would complement all of what we're talking about. Because to have a robot that is autonomous, okay? Autonomous here, like we were just talking about it, being able to make decisions on its own. And being able to make decisions on its own would require certain things before deploying something like that. One of which is you have to equip your robot, device, whatever we're talking about, with situational awareness tools. Situational awareness tools, something like you need to know what's going on around you. That can be where you are, location, can be time, can be having